Welcome. It's Rebecca, Empathic Crow Tarot. I hope everyone's doing well, and I appreciate you watching this video if you continue to watch this video. But this video is for someone who either has a fascination or a current pull to the moon, or maybe you always have, but I just keep hearing moon, 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 moon. I'm seeing like the three moon, the triple moon goddess, like the crescent, full moon, crescent. And right now, I did look it up as I'm recording this video, right now is the waxing crescent moon. So this is a time of growth for someone. You're planting seeds, you're putting in the work to be able to grow something. So if any of that resonates with you, then this may be for you. The stones that came to me, very moon themed, of course. We've got the chakra crescent moon. We have a carnelian crescent moon that has this really beautiful druzy middle piece to it. Look at that. That's gorgeous. So carnelian is about the sacral chakra, that play, that fiery energy, which reminds me, I also had set a fire quartz on my desk earlier just because I had pulled it out of a bag that I had it in. And so we'll put that down here because there's something to that. Otherwise it wouldn't have caught my eye. And I'm seeing the rainbows in it. I don't know if you can see those on camera. But the reason the rainbows are interesting is because the other two stones I have are rainbow moonstone. You may not be able to see any sheen or flash on this, but this is a raw one. And there is some blue flashes that you'll see. And then a tumbled. And so these are the rainbow moonstone. All right. So there's something for someone with the moon, the fiery, passionate energy, growth, creativity, and also you being able to find balance as you grow. Like it's about being balanced, which makes sense because the other stone I pulled out of that bag was a petrified wood piece. So for me, this always is going to represent like that earthy, grounding energy. So even though we have, and these both were in the same bag, that fiery energy of the fire quartz with the rainbows, very sparkly, we have a grounded energy here. So I feel like that's part of the message, is that you are going to be focusing on being present, being seen, being authentically yourself, just going with the flow, but also in a grounded way. But we'll get into that message. That's just what's coming through. So I am using the Modern Witch Tarot deck by Lisa Sterle, because where I saw the triple moon, that was coming to me. Moonology cards, Yasmin Beland, and then also the Moonology Messages Oracle by Yasmin Beland. And then we'll see the Star Codes Astro deck by Heather Roan Robbins was coming to me, but we'll see because that's a lot of decks. So I'm going to ground that petrified wood, giving us that reminder to do so. And we'll see what the message is. All right, so let's see what the message is. What does somebody who is in this growth phase need to know? What needs to be the focus? That'll be our first card. What is the focus? Sometimes my stuff comes through in past, present, and future. Still may do that, but I'm asking what the focus is. Okay, so Two of Swords. You've been, like, as I see her like this, you've been closed off. You've got your guard up. You're not sure what's going on. The moon is in the background, and it is a waxing crescent moon, or maybe, I don't know, it may not be waxing, but it is one of the little crescent moons. I want to learn more about the moon cycles and things like that. I've always been drawn to it. Please excuse me, my hair. If you are a woman who has had hormonal changes, you'll understand when you finally get assistance and people aren't telling you that nothing's going on, your hair starts to grow back. It's amazing. Enough about that. I'm just noticing it, so it's distracting me. Maybe that's something that is part of the message, is that this is change, and change is uncomfortable. And you may notice the change and it's a positive thing, but it doesn't always feel so good. Not to try to like Pollyanna or wrap everything in, but maybe it is supposed to be part of it. So yeah, she's like not even facing the water. Like I feel like this is, you're not focused on your emotions. You're trying to push them back though. And the heart, like you're guarding your heart. Her hands are crossed across her heart. Even her feet are crossed. So it's very closed energy. When we're in that closed energy, it's really hard to grow because we're missing out not only on the opportunities that may not be great, but also the ones that would be. Kind of like an antibiotic. It doesn't just clean out the bad bacteria. It like wipes all of it out. And so it doesn't discriminate against what's going on. So same with our emotions. When we try to hold those emotions back and we try to stop ourselves from feeling certain emotions, sometimes we're stopping ourselves from even feeling the good emotions, or with the opportunities. We're not seeing what's in front of us because we're so guarded that we've got this blindfold on. And even I'm noticing like she's got the red hair. And when I think of the chakras, I think of like this red being at the bottom, like grounding and rooting ourselves. But it's like she's also closed off. I'm seeing it like it's reversed. Like she's pushing her intuition and her abilities to connect with spirit down and guarding and protecting up here. And it's not that we shouldn't have some level of grounding and protection, but this energy just feels completely closed off. So if right now you're in this energy, you've got your swords up, you're closed off, you're not getting any access, it makes sense because the Five of Wands is the other card that came out. Like it's felt like you've had to watch your back is what I'm hearing. Watch your back. Because you've had people take advantage of you. This is also part of that moon. Things that came to light, you may even have known. You knew that they were going on, but at the same time, this is where the moonstone energy is coming in. Like that very compassionate, calm, caring type of energy is what I feel when I feel the moonstone. So it's like you knew what was going on and you were trying to give people grace, but it was constantly a battle because you were having to put yourself on the back burner in order to make other people comfortable. And then you would think, oh, well, something's going on, but you'd tell yourself it wasn't. And so it was like you were always having to defend yourself because people who are doing things that they aren't supposed to be doing, especially if they're conscious of it, and if we're giving them a pass, they're going to continue to do it. And so having those boundaries, your boundaries weren't incredibly clear. And so then you just shut yourself off. Like that's a total boundary. If I shut myself off and don't allow people access, then I don't have to worry about them not respecting my boundaries. And so in order for you to get your boundaries respected, it felt like it was always a battle. There's something else here that's interesting. All right, so everyone has on black shoes. That's what I'm noticing, except for two people. So, this isn't necessarily how this card is read, but I'm seeing you as the person that's in white back here, and you've got white shoes. And this person right here has on white shoes as well. And it's like there's someone in your corner, but at the same time, you're not sure. Like it's feeling like you don't know who you can trust. Yeah, as I'm saying that, I got to take a breath. I got to take a breath and I got to take a sip of water because as I'm saying that, my chest is clenching up, like just tightening, like somebody taking a fist and balling it up. Like you didn't know who you could trust. You still don't know who you can trust. I feel like you want to trust people. Goodness gracious. You want to trust people and you've got the intuitive insight. Part of the reason that people are drawn to you is because you are very creative. You are somebody who has this light that just radiates out. Like even in the camera, that infinity symbol above her head almost looked like a halo. And then you've got all that yellow. So like you're somebody who pulls people to you. Like you can fit in anywhere, you can get along with anyone, but it's being able to recognize that it's not you trying to make everybody else, like I said before, comfortable or doing things that help everyone else. It's okay for you to find a balance and set those boundaries. Like she's wearing the red cloak. And with that, that's being grounded. And then the white dress, like there's still a connection. You're still divinely connected. You're still this radiant light, but at the same time being grounded. And instead of having to hold a wand in this defensive manner of the Five of Wands, holding a wand in the way that it's like, yes, I have the magic in me and I am this person who can create the things I want. And instead of having to have the swords up in a defensive manner, the sword's there, she can access it, but she doesn't have to have it right on her at that moment. And so this is you finding the balance between, yes, sometimes things feel rocky. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. It may feel like these, the emotions have been all over the place, and the money may or may, your abundance, whatever form that comes in, may have felt like it was unreachable, but it's not. Like, it's right there in front of you. Even if this doesn't look smooth, even if it doesn't look easy, but there's still growth. There's still things there that are bringing in that light and abundance for you. And not everything that is meaningful to us, not all growth feels easy. Growth often, like, think about the seed being planted in the ground. It's planted in the ground and then dirt is piled on top of it. And then it grows and pushes the dirt out of the way. Or even like the flowers 11:11 on the clock that grow up through the cracks in the concrete, Sometimes growth is hard, and sometimes it feels like, I'm hearing it's impossible, but it's not impossible. It's just not always the way that you think it should be. The path may be different. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here. I mean, you've been planting those seeds. We're talking about planting seeds. You've been planting those seeds and you've been trying to watch them grow, but in this very protective energy, it's going to be really hard for them to be productive. So we have to get out of that protective energy. And I'm just kind of looking into my obsidian real quick because there was something that was catching my eye. Seeing an orange. Why am I seeing an orange? She's wearing orange on her apron. Don't lose the sacral chakra, the fire quartz, and the carnelian. You haven't lost that fiery passion that you have in the growth that you're doing. You may feel like you have to just kind of close yourself off and present a certain way in order to succeed. But that's what this is saying. That's why I'm seeing the orange. And also I'm now seeing, like peeling the orange. So it's like peeling back some of those layers so that you show the fruit. Like the fruit comes forward and the fruit is sweet and it's, what is the word I'm looking for? Tangy at the same time. Like that you can have both. Like there's a duality, there's a yin and yang, there's a balance within each of us, but it's not always fully balanced because situations like this where we feel like we have to shut ourselves down, or if we only focus on the divine connection, then we're not grounded enough, which brings in that chakra stone. So this is about recognizing that you don't have to completely close yourself off, but you also don't have to just... Why is my brain stopping a lot in this reading? This is interesting. Spirit slowing me down. What are you saying? If you bite the peel of the fruit, you think that it's bitter, that it's bad, that it doesn't taste good. But if you actually peel it back and get to the inside, then there is the sweet and tangy juice. That's the reward. Okay. So those are the words I'm hearing. So yeah, I feel like you're being told you can't close yourself off because you are this like bright, radiant being. And sometimes I say when we are people who have just those personality types or that energy, we'll just say that when we have that energy that draws people in, we have to be discerning. We do have to set boundaries sometimes, but not this hardcore, because it can feel like you're trying to like bat people away or set those boundaries, and sometimes they're not respecting those boundaries. They're coming at you and they're wanting that energy, and they may even be coming from a good space. I'm going to set that down for now. They may even be coming from a good space where they are trying to just connect because they see that you have this light. You're just an easy person to be around. And then you get drained. And over time, it gets to where it just feels like I'm constantly having to do this, that, and I don't have the energy for it. And so we shut ourselves off. And this is saying you can take some time to yourself. But in that time, it's recognizing that you being yourself authentically. I'm like seeing that bird on her head, and I just keep seeing like the bird is outside of the cage. The bird is blue. So bluebirds often are joy and harmony, nurture, but also blue is kind of that throat chakra. So she's like grounded in her voice. And then she's got that orange on. So she's letting herself be passionate. She's speaking her truth. She has, these things around her that she's growing. So she doesn't have to be fully present with everyone all the time. She can be on her own and out in nature, but this is not like hermit energy by herself. So you're still growing and cultivating. I feel like this sounds very disjointed, but this is what's coming through. She's got tomatoes on the vine, but oranges are what I saw, and she's got carrots in her hand. Not that the vegetables necessarily matter, but it's all red and orange, root and sacral chakra. So grounding, the petrified wood, and then the two carnelian and fire quartz stones, still being yourself while also protecting that emotional energy, knowing. And notice with this moonstone, there's the black in it. So it's that balance between the two. Let's see what else. Yeah, flipping out is Ten of Swords. So I see this and there's hope. Like there's hope when you look at the card, like the pink in the clouds. She does have her phone. Yes, she may feel like she's just been pinned to the ground with those swords, but she's still doing something. She's still got energy. So this is understanding that this is past energy. If in order to move forward, in order to grow, you have to be able to release whatever emotions are coming with this Ten of Swords and know that that's in the past. And that even with that Ten of Swords, while there may be some things where maybe you feel like I didn't set my boundaries, I didn't do things to protect myself, and so that's why we're in this very defensive and protective energy right now. It's okay. You aren't defeated. I keep hearing you're not defeated. This isn't the end. It's not just a dust your shoulders off, pull up your bootstraps, let it roll off your back. It's recognizing the emotions. Jeez, as I say that, the Queen of Cups flies. Recognize your emotions. Queen of Cups flies out of the deck. It's recognizing that you do have these emotions and your emotions are valid. And when I say release the emotions, I'm not talking about just pushing them back. I'm talking about working through them. I mean, with her dress and even the mermaid on the throne, like, again, you've got that mystical, magical quality. Like, you'll get through this and you'll do very well. But it's like with that stone of her throne and then also the water, it's grounding and being able to recognize the emotions. And I'm hearing use them to help you with whatever you're doing. And then again, we've got that yellow coming through, which is solar plexus, and that's been in the Magician card and the Nine of Pentacles card. So again, that makes sense with the chakra moon that I pulled up, that balance. It's definitely about balance. Now she's got that cup in her hand, and in this deck they're pink, and I always think of like rose-colored glasses. But notice that she's looking at this cup, and if you look at her face, if you can see it with my light, she's looking down. She's not sad. She's not super nostalgic or anything like that. She's just, I'm hearing, respecting the emotions, respecting that she's going to have emotions and not all of them are going to feel good or easy to get through, but she knows she's got this. Now, there was another card that flipped out, but it's not showing. Oh, and I don't reverse my cards, but it is coming up in reverse, and this is the Six of Pentacles. So with this, I feel like you haven't meant to, but you've been blocking your blessings. Not in a way that you've been preventing them, but you haven't seen them. You haven't been seeing the potential opportunities and blessings. And I said that in the beginning because the blindfold's on. So it's balancing the emotions and getting out of that energy of not allowing yourself to see the gifts in front of you. And it makes sense with the 10 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. Any of us would want to shut ourselves off. We would be like, not doing this. If I don't engage, if I don't do this, if I don't interact with people, then I can't get hurt. I'm going to start maneuvering these cards a little bit because I do have a smaller space. We're seeing if this works, this particular space. Yeah, so not intentionally, but there may be some things that you've missed, and you may even know that there were opportunities that you missed because you've been so closed off. This is just more encouragement from Spirit for you to think about what is it that you need to be able to move forward. All right. Yeah. Knight of Wands, as I was about to say, we're going to stop with the tarot and go to the oracle cards. Knight of Wands comes out, and the Knight of Wands is talking about taking that action. We've got that fiery energy when it comes to the wands, fire and passion, that's sacral chakra. So I often do associate it with things like carnelian, fire quartz, all of those stones that have that fiery energy. So this is saying it's time to move. I feel like you want to, and it's time to focus on moving in a way that you are honoring those passions and the things that bring you joy. Knowing, and see, this Knight of Wands, actually, there was something I knew I needed to look at, has spikes right on the shoulder pads of their outfit. But that's the, other than the wand in their hand, which is just a stick, that's the only defense that they have, is just a little bit of spikes on their shoulder pads. So understanding that you don't have to go at this with like full armor on. You still can have those boundaries. You still need to have those boundaries. We all do. But you don't have to go into it thinking that you're going into battle. Exactly. Bottom of the deck, 8 of Swords. This is another reminder that you're standing in the emotions, and they may feel overwhelming because just like the first card, we got the blindfold on, we've got the swords up around us. This one's actually tied down. It's understanding you actually are not in this energy. There is no one around her. You are actually not trapped. And you've got to let your heart not be so bound up. We've got to let some of it out, but it doesn't mean that we can't guard it and that it's not going to be okay. And the card that I saw right after that is the Strength card. So it's being able to recognize that you can handle those difficult situations and you can tackle things that feel like impossible tasks. And it's not always going to be easy, but notice all the roses and things. Like, again, this is growth. This is leaning into that healing and balance of sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, and with all that green heart chakra. I noticed in this card where she's got the heels on and she's walking across the grass, she has grace and beauty in a way that probably does not exist except for in like movies and commercials and things like that. You don't have to be that graceful, but it's the energy of it where you're putting yourself out there in a way that feels, I'm hearing polished. Not that you have to be polished, but like where you feel good, you feel confident. And knowing that you don't have to worry about judgment or fear and things like that. It's still going to come in, but it'll be okay. Queen of Pentacles is the next one. And she's got the sacral chakra energy going on. So moving from that 9 of Pentacles to the Queen, I feel like that's the outcome that can happen as long as you're focused on growth and letting go of some of those, not even boundaries, protections that you've put around yourself, and actually creating boundaries. It's got to be healthy. Like even with, I'm thinking of the imagery. She's got her arms crisscrossed around her and it's blocking her heart. Whereas we have in the Queen of Pentacles a crisscross for her dress. It's not blocking her heart. It just accentuates it while also covering that space. So with that, and I'm an intuitive reader, so of course this is just my interpretation of the moment. With that, again, it's you just being confident and comfortable, and you're not paying attention to all the outside things. You're paying attention to your goal, what it is that you want. All right, we're already at 25 minutes, so we'll just see where we go with these oracle cards. So we're starting out with the Moonology oracle cards, just the regular Moonology. Again, I'm going to try to figure out with my light what I need to do. Definitely better than the ring light that had the very high-pitched LED frequency. I hear it in some other people's videos sometimes. And when you turn the brightness down, which helps with the eyes, that frequency gets so high-pitched. It's horrible. Especially if you're somebody who's highly sensitive, and I am. All right, so with this Moonology oracle cards, how... I didn't even get to ask the question that's coming out. Adjustments are required. I was going to say, how can we, or whoever needs to hear this message, move forward? And so the card that fell out is adjustments are required. And this is the third quarter moon. So it's, that moon is showing itself, like it's coming out a little bit at a time is the way that I'm seeing it. And it's not fully there, but it's just shifting. It's not that you have to make a complete 180 or a full change. It's that you shift. All right, so we had a card just kind of flip over. Meditate and contemplate. So new moon in Pisces. So this is, again, where we're talking about getting those emotions under control. And that new moon is thinking about what it is that you want to bring in. You know, full moon, what do we want to release? New moon, what do we want to bring in? So we'll go with just those two from that deck because that's a full answer, even in just the first card. I will go ahead just because I was called to it, and we'll do the Moonology messages. Goodness gracious, Rebecca. All right, I've got to figure that light out. But it's just going to work for now because I'm not going to give up a 27-minute video that had a really good message. And it was 27:27 when I looked up. So, all right. Final message from the Moonology messages cards. Some of them are wanting to come out. What's the final message? I say as it flips over. Dark side of the moon, mystery. Talked a lot about rainbows. We even had the chakra rainbow stone. Mystery. So there's no one way. There's no right way. It's being able for you to just decide what it is that works for you. And I feel like that's saying you don't have to know the answers. Like you are here and there's this vast world of opportunities and things that some of them may be old structures. Some of them may be bright and shiny. Some of it may be dark and hidden. Some of it may feel like there's not a lot of opportunity there. And so this is you using your discernment and saying, what do I feel like is right for me, without totally blocking yourself off from something because you can't immediately see it, but also not going for something because it's drawing your attention. I think that's just the message there. So I hope that was helpful. If you would like to do a private reading to explore this or other things, definitely let me know. And I wish you well. Thank you so much for watching through the video, and let me know if it helped or anything that resonated for you. If it doesn't fit, don't try to force it.